Just a very unfortunate situation, and obviously with Rocky Johnson, and not only what he did in the business of sports and entertainment, but also too what he was able to help others do in the business of sports and entertainment. Being the first ever African American, one half of the first ever African American tag team in the history of WWE. He paved the way for guys like myself and many others to not only see ourselves as heroes, but also ultimately, hopefully, become a hero one day as well.
What memories you have of him watching growing up? Any particular moves that said, well, what made him such a special guy in the ring?
Just his physique, number one, and his athleticism was second to none. But they called him Rocky Soul Man for a reason, you know, and he was just smooth, very charismatic, and then obviously being the father of the most electrifying man in all the sports and entertainment came naturally for Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson because of his dad, Rocky Johnson.
And I mean, this man had ties. Obviously, spent toward the end of his life. I know The Rock got him a house not too far from you said you live.
Right.
So, talk about his ties to Tampa Bay.
Yeah, not just his most recent ties, but also too, if you look and listen to Rock past interviews, you know, they used to live right off of Hillsborough for years, and this is kind of where Rock cut his teeth at. Rocky Johnson cut his teeth here, so there's a lot of history here, along with other legends that have been in the area. And Rocky is one of those guys that, you know, started here, started elsewhere, but made Tampa his home for an extended period of time. Raised his kids here, raised Rock here. There are pictures of him being here in an apartment in Tampa Bay off of Hillsborough. And, you know, to know that not only him, but so many other legends have chosen our city as home, and to now be, you know, having to come together again as a wrestling and sports and entertainment community to mourn the loss of someone so legendary as Rocky Johnson it's a tough time for a lot of people, obviously for The Rock and his family, but also two present WWE superstars, the Usos, Tamina, you know, Roman Reigns. The list goes on and on of all those that are affected by this.
When you got a chance to meet Rocky over the years?
Yes.
Just any anecdotes that you can share? Just, you know, maybe the first time you met him. Just what are some of those special moments you were able to share with this man you grew up idolizing?
Yeah, so I remember the very first conversation I had with Rocky Johnson was actually in a conversation with other legends, Mark Henry, Ron Simmons at the time, and then also Tony Atlas. And all of them were just saying, you know, that this business as a whole is a marathon, is not a sprint. And longevity is the key, not, you know, you got to be willing to ride the wave and things like that. And when you're listening to guys that had to go through so much more than what the present WWE superstars have to go through in order to reach the top of the pinnacle or to have a long career, it means a lot simply because, you know, the times are different now than they were back then. If they didn't work, they didn't make money. And then there were so many other barriers that they had to overcome. And because they overcame those barriers, they set the table for me and many others like me, regardless of race and ethnicity and background, but they brought people from all walks of life together. And that's what Rocky Soul Man Johnson did for a lot of people. And I want people to, you know, yeah, we could celebrate the fact that he was one half of the first ever black African-American champions, but also celebrate the fact that he, you know, along with many others, brought people in front of televisions and inside of arenas from all different walks of life to be entertained for 1, 2, 3 hours at a time.
See how, though, Dwayne followed in his dad's footsteps, built on it and took it to a whole nother level.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just reaction to that. I mean, look, this guy's you know, big shoes to fill, and to see what The Rock's done to live up to his dad's legacy. Just
right.
What does that mean to this special father-son bond?
Yeah, I mean, just like you say, when you have a father that has set a great example, and you've seen the struggles and the sacrifices that he had to go through to get to that level, then you understand the work ethic and everything else that it takes, and the willingness to not take the answer of no from some people, and just keep forging your own way. And, you know, Dwayne has not only done that in WWE, he had to do it in football, He's done it in movies and film and television. And now, you know, because of that mantra, he's inspired millions and millions of other people to do the same. Go after your dreams, put in the hard work, put in the sweat equity. And I think the foundation of that was laid with Rocky Johnson, his dad.
Anything else I want to ask you, Titus, you want to just add about memories, anecdotes, just anything else that you want to add about to help the Bay Area remember this wrestling legend? Anything else? Final thoughts?
No, I think that's about it. Like I said, is a guy that not only performed for many that love WWE as a whole, but also lived in our city of Tampa, raised his son here in the city of Tampa for a period of time, and has roots here, and then brought his roots back here recently, and moved back to the city of Tampa to, you know, relax and be a part of a place that's very obviously very special to him and very special to Dwayne.
I understand he did some of the obviously, you know, you guys in the business, you know, it's the fanfare continues long past there. He did stuff with the fan fest and things like that. So he stayed connected to his fans even in his older years.
Yeah, no, he was always at WrestleMania. He was always doing signings and autograph signings and appearances and things like that. So, you know, and that's what a lot of people don't understand. Just because someone's not wrestling doesn't mean that they're not being ambassadors for the business of professional wrestling and sports and entertainment. And he's one of those people that have been doing that silently in some cases and out loud in others. And so he's been cheerleading for his son, who's the biggest star in the world in a lot of ways. And he has a lot to be proud of, and he worked extremely hard to get to where he got to, so that his son could have this platform that he has.